Australia's largest industrial auto and e-commerce website, Gray's Online, now doing property auctions. Unbelievable. Stay tuned. We're going to tell you all about it. Hello, Michael.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark Novak, episode 559. Welcome Gray's Online to the real estate industry. One property in particular has come to our attention, which was sold via basically Australia's largest commercial and e-commerce auctioneer platform where you can buy from bottles of wine, laptops, tractors, basically anything. It's an eBay, it's very similar to like an eBay auction house, basically. And what I'm sure it's been around, I'm sure people have used it in the past for property, and the company's been around for many years. But there was something in our backyard, you could say, that really got the attention of us as an agency and really wanted us to have the conversation because we're seeing, especially through COVID, Mark, there's another company, Open to View. We've had them in the office who do a very similar service. So today's not about them versus against who's better. It's more the concept of these online auctions growing, how they're being done, and as agents we're learning as well. It was a big change to go from a physical auction to a Zoom auction to then now go to basically an all digital platform. And I think the trend will live on past COVID lockdowns.
Yeah.
What's your thought, Mark? Take us from the beginning. What sprung your attention on this? I know you and a couple colleagues watched it, as a fair bit of it.
We got addicted. So we could interact, we could see the bidding. So it was William Street, 23 William Street, North Manly. Can we whack the link in there? Just so people can have a look here as well. And, it was pretty incredible because we noticed it was an out-of-area agent. So I think it was Harcourts. I had a chat to the agent, lovely agent. I think his name was Peter. Anyway, lovely guy. And I was like, mate, what's the story with an auction? He said, look, we're selling on behalf of the bank. If people are interested in bidding, they register. Something we're all familiar with, to like eBay and you know what, probably something we're all a little bit addicted to. Here it is. So here's a little old property there. We had a similar property up the road, which generated my inquiry towards this. Wanted to see little old house. Now they started the bidding at $49,000. $49,000. It seemed like the bidding started opening. I think it was on during the week, maybe Friday or around there at 49,000. By Saturday afternoon, the bidding had hit 1.85, which was reserve. You can actually whack on those bids there. Have a look at this, guys. This is 269 bids on this property digitally. People had to register. And there you go, straight from Dot, first bid, 49,000.
HR Narrabeen, 2 days before it sold, 49,000, and then HR bid again, 49. Then Pinball came in at 50. Was there a reason it started on the 18th? Is that when they opened it up? Is that when someone was willing to do it? Because it sold on the 20th, or was it always planned? How does that work?
I'm just going back on my 18th was Saturday that it opened. I believe it opened at 6 o'clock on Saturday, and I believe they aimed to close the auction at 6 o'clock on Monday. What was interesting is we had a property that we were selling as well, so we were interested in that result, so we could sort of bunny hop, beyond that as well. So we had our we had a best and fairest in Waddle, which we had at 6:30 because we were pretty keen to see this result. Problem was that the bidding didn't close on Monday, Burge, at 6. If you have a look at the bids right towards the end, from 6 o'clock, there was another flurry of probably 100 bids. But what this auction house did was, I couldn't work out the timing, Burge. What's the timing between the last bid and the second last bid? Because it seemed the auction
10
self-extended itself. Eh?
10 minutes.
Okay, so it seemed that if there hadn't been a bid for a further 10 minutes, then it closed the auction and sold to that person. You literally had to wait and watch during that period. So it's a pretty frustrating 10 minutes if you've got a bid in, and it's pretty easy to put in $1 more, and there's no auctioneer telling you it has to be $500 or $1,000 more. You can literally put any figure more. Have a look at some of these figures at this auction. They were quite unusual numbers.
Yeah, people just picked anything. And there weren't, there's not as many 1,000s as you would have expected. Like $8,000 here, 1,000 there, 10,000, 9,000 there, 8,000 there. I think people also understand.
Like they were playing.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting. But it really kicked.
It's like people were a little bit. It's like people got a bit playful, Burge. Like they didn't mind. They weren't shy about putting a weird number that suited them. A matter of fact, most of them actually did. I think that says something about the level of comfort people had with the system and bidding this way, that they could be quite playful and put $7 in or $7,000 in or whatever they did.
Sure. So from about 4 o'clock to 6:30, it went from that 185 to 2.2. So it gives people time. But yeah, I think it's there's many ways to do it. You could say this is a success with it. I think just how, to be honest, how resilient the property market is. It may not even. I think you can get away with doing a lot. Like, is it better to do in person, online? I think they're all of the merits. All of them have their merits and can be used to sell. So it's just if we'll see more to it. I don't think that once we're open again, people are going to want to do the on-site, even from an agent's point of view. Like, we're in the people business, and being on-site, meeting the neighbours is priceless. So it's definitely, I think owners can have comfort if they need to sell now during lockdown, or even in the future, if there's whatever reason they're interstate or they just can't do a physical one. There is a good, genuine backup for an auction process, where previously, if you couldn't do the auction, you had to do private treaty, and you may just have that property that is a special property and you don't want to do private treaty, but you can't hold an in-person one on site. So you're a bit like, what do I do? I think there's been enough cases now of property sales that you as an owner, you as an agent, you as a buyer, more importantly, it doesn't matter how much owners love it. If buyers hate it and don't feel comfortable, it's not going to go too far. So I think, like, just with that as well, Grays Online, so they did your typical realestate.com domain, all the marketing, funneled everyone into it, and it sold. It's a great price. And yeah, I think you can sort of say, here's another method. If you're not happy with open to view, because a bit of pushback with open to view is, Mark, when you bid, you have to sign. Well, here's pushback, but here's security. Open to view, you have to physically sign a contract every bid. So it will stamp out the smaller bids because you want it to be a bit more powerful.
You do that up front once, and then you bid as much as you want. Yes, correct.
So it gives you a bit more, like, I don't know, it's a layer of protection, but it's also people may be like, hey, I don't trust it. We already see the resistance with people doing DocuSign e-signatures throughout normal exchanges. So this one's a little bit, is looser. Obviously you have an account, but you would have to trust that. I'm sure they've got great protections because this is what they do, but you're not getting a signed contract. And in real estate, the signed contract is Bible. That's everything. There could be a big argument. It's like, yeah, you won the bidding online. Yes, you got the regulations, but until a contract is signed and it's exchanged, and there could be a minute delay with that Grays online process. There could be a couple hours delay. You just don't know. So that is an area that's a little bit different, but that's no different to your Zoom auctions, Mark. People aren't signing a contract prior to entering the auction. Whoever bids it, we've got to send it off. So
it's interesting. The Zoom auctions, we're registering bidders' identification, so it's pretty much the same idea. Someone there in person, when you have someone there in person at an auction, you don't have a signed contract out of them either. So it's the same process via Zoom. That's via the actual same paperwork, whether Zoom or in person. But what's interesting is Grays Online is transacting. I would imagine hundreds of thousands of properties in the course of the year. Their processes would be pretty good. Now, obviously, if they're selling this on behalf of a bank, I'd like to think that Grays Online and the size of Grays Online, they've obviously worked out the logistics behind it with property law. I'm pretty keen to give it a go. I'm keen to give open negotiation a go, which is, like you mentioned, another platform. I'm pretty keen to give. We've given Zoom a go. We've given FaceTime a go with an auctioneer. But both when we did Zoom and when we did FaceTime, we did have a physical auctioneer in the house, which was the host. But this is actually taking away the host, open negotiation, and Grays Online is taking away the host being the auctioneer, I should say. Michelle has a question for us, and it is:
can you run through your best and fair? Yeah, you do. I'm just looking at Grays, see if there's a percentage to sell. What's the fee on it? So just
what they charge. Can you run a best and fairest approach? Absolutely. I would like to think, and this is what I love, with open negotiation, you definitely can. So it's almost like a snap auction where if you've got three buyers heavily competing for the property, they can't land a price because they keep going on top of each other with price. You can move it to a snap auction, which is your auctioneer, or you could possibly move it to Grays Online. I don't know what the lead time is on Grays Online to get a property up, but I definitely know on open negotiation you can do it real fast.
I just put the answer for, so how does Grays make their money? Answer: when you sell on Grays, you pay an upfront. You pay no upfront listing or appraisal fee. We charge the buyers a premium on your listing. We do charge a commission once sold, but this varies product to product. So I'm just trying to find that listing fee. They may not put it on their website because it's case by case. Because
it's so new as well. Maybe let's give them a call today and we'll find out. It's an interesting number. I'd love to know what they charge.
5% on a laptop for $1,000 is $50. That's okay, but 5% on $2 million.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? So it would vary. I'm sure they've got a cap thing, like many things, where it's a percentage up to a fixed amount.
Yep. And Luke reckons I'd give anything a go. Yeah. Remember that?
You're open to things. Most agents aren't even doing the online auctions. What if the asset doesn't sell? Are you still open for business during COVID? I'm just going through. Let me put the link to Grays here. Copy. I put the link to Grays. So yeah, we could say there's a new kid on the block, or we're just knowing this basically. Open to view.
There is now a new kid. That's well said. There is a new kid on the block. They are Grays Online. I haven't seen eBay doing house auctions yet. I'm now seeing Grays do it. I'm now seeing open negotiation do it. It's just a real exciting time. It's just a real exciting time with this sort of stuff. And I've got to say, guys, we were. I was like refresh. The last 15 minutes of the auction, I must have refreshed 300 times. And the reason why we were looking at this auction was, one, it was Grays Online, we were intrigued, but most importantly, we had an almost identical property down the road that we sold for $85,000 more, and we wanted to know for our owners and for our buyers. But my point of that refresh is it was interactive and fun. So don't underestimate that.
I was just looking. Hang on. There's a few houses on there. Give me 2 secs. Where was it? It was here. So you've got one in Victoria that's sold. I think you can look at let's see if you can look at all the bidding history. Inquires.
Does it have a bidder's premium on there?
708,000. This lot belongs to assets for sale. I don't see bidding history. Let me try something else that's for sale. So let's look at this. View now.
It's pretty cool. It's actually a really cool concept. You can just go on and just make a bid.
View size. So I think there is a set bidding time to make a bid when it opens. So anyway, there you go.
Awesome.
That's a wrap.
Guys,
Thank you,
there's some more news for you on property. Hopefully we helped. And share us, like us if you love the topic. And online auctions, what an incredible topic. I love it. I love the movement with technology like that this presents. It's massive. Huge.
Alrighty, thank you everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Have a great day.